Good morning to all. Myself R Arulkumar. I am going to teach about C#.NET framework. So before we are going to programming languages, we must well known about language translator tool. So majorly their main tools are assembler, compiler and interpreter. Those are the major three tools are available in programming languages. Many tools are there, but they are most widely used in these three tools. So first one is compiler. So what is meant by compiler? Compiler is used to compile the source program into object code. That means we are using the purpose of compiler. That means the source code will be converted into machine code. And then assembler. What is the purpose of assembler? Assembler is used to convert the assembly level language code into machine code. Assembly level code means it is mnemonic codes. That code will be used in microprocessor and microcontroller applications. They are used in assembly level language code. So that code will be converted into machine code with help of assembler. So that purpose we are using assembler. And then interpreter. Interpreter is used to check the program line by line manner whether if there is any error occurred during the program, that error will be detected with help of interpreter, and then finally we will run the program. That purpose we are using an interpreter. So those are the major three tools we are using in programming languages in language translator. And then today we discuss about C#.NET framework. So from C#.NET framework we are going to see about first one .NET overview. So what is meant by .NET? So .NET framework is a type enabled that you accomplish a range of common programming tasks including string management, data collection and database connectivity and file access system. The .NET framework is a class of reusable libraries, that means collection of classes. It is given by the Microsoft applications. There are common applications available in .NET framework. First one console application, second one Windows form applications, third one Windows presentation foundation applications, and then Windows web applications, then web services, Windows services, service oriented applications using Windows communication foundations, and work enabled application using workflow foundation, that means WEF. The core component of .NET frameworks are the common applications are first one .NET framework based class libraries, common language runtime systems, garbage collector, common type system, common language specifications. So those are the core of .NET framework technologies. So there are three significant phases of development of .NET technology. While we developing an .NET applications, the major three technologies are used in .NET framework. So first one OLE technology, second one COM technology, and then third one .NET technology. So OLE is the first phase of the .NET framework applications. So this was developed in the year of 1990s, and then COM is the COM technology. This is the second phase during the year of 1995 they are developed, and then phase 3 is the .NET technology during the year of 1990s. So the first OLE technology is the inter-process communication stage, and the second COM technology is the inter-module communication stage, and then third is the inter-site communication stage. OLE is the object linking and embedding is one of the technologies of Microsoft component of the document applications. And then COM is the COM, so common object model, it means common object model. So this is the technology was developed by Microsoft applications. So Microsoft COM communicate is most widely used for developing various purposes like creating reusable software components and linking components and other applications. They are used in COM technology. And then .NET technology. So .NET technology is a collection of set of technologies to develop Windows or web applications. So these technologies is developed by Microsoft, was launched in the year of 2002. The next one, features of .NET framework. So cross language interoperability, multi-language support system. Multi-language means if you are using either C# code or Visual Basic code or F# code, so those languages will be supported with help of .NET framework, and automatic resource management system, type safety, debugging, eliminations of DLL and security. The next one is component of .NET framework. So, CLR common language runtime, CTS common type system, BCL base class library, CLS common language specification, FCL framework class library, and .NET assemblies, XML web services, Windows services. So, those are the components of .NET framework. So, first one, common language runtime system. So, .NET CLR is a runtime environment that manages and executes the code written in any .NET programming languages. CLR is the virtual machine component of the .NET framework. So, the language compiler is used to compile the source code into object code with the help of MSIL, and then the code will be converted into machine code. MSIL is nothing but Microsoft Intermediate Language. So, in compiler we are given to the input source code will be converted into object code with help of this tool can be used. This code is a platform independent. So, it is comparable to bytecode in Java. So, metadata is also generated during the compilation, and MSIL code stored in the file is known as mainfeast file. So, the metadata is generally about members and types required by CLR to execute MSIL code. A just-in-time compiler is used to convert the source code into object code with the help of compiler. So, this code is a platform dependent. The CLR manages memory, threads, exception, code and execution, code safety, with verification and compilation. So, this is the general structure for while we convert the source code into object code in C# languages. Suppose if you are given the input source code to the compiler, and the compiler, that means MSIL compiler, that compiler will convert the source code into object code. Here the process will be converted here CLR JIT, just in time compiler. That source code will be converted into native code. Native code means that is finally the machine understandable language, machine code. So, the next one is the main components of CLR. The main components of CLR are common type systems, common language specification, garbage collector, just-in-time compiler, metadata and assemblies. So, this is a simple structure for while we execution of .NET applications for developing the project. Suppose if you are writing a code in any languages, C#, VB.NET, J#.NET or any other languages, so that code will be sent to the compiler, particular compiler. So, the compiler will convert the source code into object code. So, how the code will be converted here means, we are using the code by using MSIL code, and that this tool will be converted into machine code, that means with the help of JIT compiler. So, JIT compiler is used to convert the source code into machine code by using this compiler, and then finally we will get the native code. This is the general execution process for the while we developing the .NET applications. So, first one, common type system. CTS provides guidelines for declaring, using and managing data types at runtime. It offers cross language communication. Suppose if you are declaring the data type int, means if you are having an integer data type, you can declare int variable name and end with semicolon. It provides two categories of types. So, first one, value type, second one is reference type. Value type, it stores the data in the memory allocated on a stack or inline structure, whereas reference type stores the reference to the value of a memory address and is allocated on the heap. This is the main difference between value type and reference type. Value type means the data will be stored in a stack or inline structure, and then reference type means the value will be stored in the heap memory. Second one is common language specification, CLS. It contains a set of rules to be followed by all .NET supported languages. The common rules make it easy to implement language integration and help in cross language inheritance and debugging. So, what is meant by inheritance? Inheritance is the process of deriving one class to another class is called inheritance. Then debugging. Debugging means to check the program whether the program is correct or not, to check the program line by line manner. If there is any error occurred, that error will be detected with the help of debugger. The next one is just in time compiler, JIT. So, JIT is an important component of CLR. It converts the MSIL code into native code, that means machine specific code. So, the .NET program is compiled either implicitly or explicitly. The next one is metadata. So, metadata is a binary information about the program either stored in a CLR portable executable file. So, this is the metadata. Assembly is a fundamental unit of physical grouping. It consists of assembly, main fist, metadata, MSIL code and set of resources like managing the files or imaging the files. Then .NET CLR functions. Following are the functions of CLR. First one, it converts the program into native code with the help of JIT compiler. It handles exception. It provides type safety, memory management, provides security, improved performance, language independent, platform independent, garbage collection, provides language features such as inheritance, interfaces and overloading the object oriented program. The code that runs with the CLR is called managed code. There are two types of codes available in .NET framework. One is managed code, another one is unmanaged code. So, managed code means the code that runs with the CLR is called managed code, whereas the code outside the CLR is called unmanaged code. So, this is the definition for managed code and unmanaged code. So, any language that is written in the .NET framework is managed code. So, managed code is used to in CLR, which looks after your application by managing the memory. It handles security, allowing the cross language and debugging. This is the general structure for managed code. So, first we are given the input source code, that source code will be sent to MSIL code, and then MSIL, that again that code will be sent to executable code. Source code will be converted into object code with the help of MSIL code, that means Microsoft Intermediate Language, and then we are using the JIT compiler, just in time compiler. That compiler will convert the source code into machine code with the help of JIT, and then finally we will send to that code CPU, central processing unit, and then finally we will get the original output for the given code. Then unmanaged code. The code developed outside the .NET framework is known as unmanaged code. So, applications that do not run under the control of the CLR are to be said to be an unmanaged code. Certain languages such as C++ can be used to write such applications such as low level access functions of the operating system. So, background compatibility with VB, ASP and COM are the examples of unmanaged code. So, this is the general structure for or simple structure for an unmanaged code. So, we are given the input to the source code, that source code will send to the MSIL code, MSIL will convert the source code into object code with the help of JIT compiler, just in time compiler, and finally we will send to that code CPU, central processing unit. So, and we will get the original code from the output. This is the unmanaged code process of execution. So, the next one is .NET CLR structure. The following is the component structure of common language runtime system. So, from this architecture, in the top layer consists of base class library support system, and the bottom layer consists of class loader, and the left and right layer consists of thread support system, type checker and security engine, and the right layer consists of COM marshaller, exception manager, debug engine, and the middle layer consists of IL2 intermediate language to native compiler, and then middle layer consists of code manager, and then right side consists of garbage collector. This is the general architecture or common language runtime system. So, first one is base class library support. It is a class library that supports classes for the .NET applications. Thread support, it manages the parallel execution of the multi-threaded applications. COM marshaller, Common Object Model. It provides communication between the COM objects and the application. Security engine, it enforces security restriction. Debug engine, it allows you to debug the different kinds of applications while we developing the .NET project. Type checker, it checks the types used in the applications and verifies that they match the standards provided by the CLR. Code manager, it manages the code at execution at runtime. Garbage collector, it releases the unused memory and allocates it to new applications. Exception handler, it handles the exception at runtime to avoid application failure. Class loader, it is used to load all the classes at runtime. .NET programming general structure. So, the following are the general structure while we creating the code in C#. First, the namespace declaration, class declaration and definition, class members, likes, variable, methods, etc., main method, statements or expression. The program will contain some statements or expressions are there. So, this is the one simple example for hello world program using C# code. So, using system is the namespace which contains commonly used types, and then namespace hello world applications is the keyword which is used to define the details, and class geeks, here the class is the keyword which is used for the declarations of classes. Geek is user defined name of the class. Static void main string argument, it is the main method name, and then here static and void are the keywords, main is the main method name. Console write line, here write line is the method name to console the class defined by the system namespace. Console read key, this is for the VSP.NET users, this makes the program wait for the key press and prevent the screen from the running and closing quickly. This is the general structure for the simple hello world program. So, the next one is architecture of .NET framework. So, in architecture will contains common language runtime systems and CLR and class library systems. CLR is the execution engine that handles running applications. It provides services like thread management, garbage collection, type safety, exception handling and etc. The class library provides a set of APIs that types of common functionalities. So, it provides the types for string, dates, numbers, etc. The class library includes APIs, application programming interface, for reading and writing files, connecting to the databases and drawing, etc. So, this is the general structure for architecture of .NET framework. Suppose if you are writing a code either C# or F# or Visual Basic, so that code will be compiled with the help of the particular compiler C# or F# or Visual Basic compiler. The compiler will convert the source code into object code. So, by using these tools we have to convert the source code into object code, either common intermediate language or common language runtime system, that either those two tools we have to convert the code into object code, and then finally we will get the machine code 10100110101010101, that is called machine code, machine understandable languages. Components of .NET framework are common language runtime system, base class library systems, framework class library system, common type systems, common language specification CLS. So, .NET components are CLS, common language runtime, CLR. So, common language infrastructure or CLI is a platform of .NET architecture on which the .NET program is executed. Exception handling, exceptions are errors which occur when their applications is executed. Examples of exceptions are if applications tries to open a file or on the local machine, but the file is not present. If the application tries to fetch some records from a database, but the connection to the database is not valid. This is the main example of exception handling. And then these tools are already discussed: language translator tool, compiler, assembler and interpreter. Then class library, the .NET framework includes the set of standards of class libraries. A class library is a collection of methods and the functions that can be used for the core purpose. Languages, the type of applications that can be built in the .NET framework is classified broadly into the following categories: WinForms and ASP.NETs. WinForm means this is used for developing the Windows formed based applications which would run on an end user machine. ASP.NET, so this is used for developing web based applications which are made to run on any browser such as Internet Explorer or Chrome or Firefox, etc. Web application would be processed on a server which would have Internet Information Service installed, IIS. Internet Information Services or IIS is a Microsoft component which is used for execution of ASP.NET application. The result of the execution is then sent to the client machine and the output is shown in the browser. ADO.NET is a technology that is used to develop applications to interact with databases with such as Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server. Those are the architecture of .NET framework. So, that is all about today's class. The remaining topic will be discussed on the next class. If you are having any doubts or any clarification from this topic, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will wind up the session. Thank you for all.